Hi, everybody. Whatever time it is, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good whenever. But hello, and welcome to Castles and Crapshacks. On today's episode, we're going to be continuing our tours of Kerran content out in the world. Now, the Kerran workshop is actually technically 2 weeks in, but to be honest, they told us to take a week off and gave us a little concept art, and so people took the initiative. So we're somewhere between 2 and 3 weeks into the Kerran workshop process here in Landmark, designing the Kerran aesthetic for structures that will be going into EverQuest next. It's very exciting. I am really excited for this, especially because I'm probably going to play Kerrans, most likely when the game comes out, and I'm probably going to stick with them. No switching races when the new ones come through. So, this is quite exciting for me to see what's been going on with the Kerran projects here, and I actually took the liberty of making a Kerran Crapshack. You see, I don't think anybody who's actually working on the Kerran workshop contest is actually capable of bringing themselves down to the level of making a Crapshack, something that doesn't look right, that doesn't fit, that's not functional, that's not pretty, that doesn't look Kerran. And so I did that. So, I actually focused on a few very specific points of it. First of all, it's just kind of a wall segment. I didn't even do an entire room because it didn't really feel like doing an entire room. And let me just kind of break down some of the bad elements here. So the stones down here, it actually is kind of mimicking some of the earliest concept art that we were shown for the Kerran architecture. And while the stones can be used down below, I put them in a way that they kind of look ugly and blobby, and the plaster doesn't even match with it. Using a stone material to kind of blend with natural stone props would actually probably be able to create a pretty good effect and give it that look like you've built into the rocks that actually existed there in the world and in nature. But I decided to specifically kind of almost exaggerate what the kind of negative, what the bad is, if you try to go with it and don't do it quite right. But as you can see, I've caught it below, it's clearly the lower third of the building here. And, the height of the building is another thing we'll get to, or the wall, I should say, is another issue we'll get to. So then we've got this kind of wood trim going around. I can't remember whose build I got that from. Stone material. So, like I was saying, we've got the wood trim, and I'm pretty sure I used burled wood for all of this, and that's going around here, and it's a nice way to separate the bottom from this upper part here. But you can see it kind of tapers funny a little bit here where it meets. It doesn't feel like it's got the same kind of strength and structure that it needs. Everything kind of needs to feel like kind of a trapezoid building up with the Kerran architecture. And right here I've got kind of one trapezoid here and then another trapezoid with the base wider than the bottom or the top of the one below it. So that's, I think, something that needs to be avoided. It should definitely be consistently going up like a trapezoid, but that it shouldn't have, at least in the plaster building it up, sections where it kind of gets wider than the segment below it as it continues up. Though that could be something interesting to mess around with if that's something anybody wants to give it a shot. So these columns, the wood spars, they're kind of thick and don't really serve much of a purpose other than just kind of being there. The symmetry is just not doing anything for it. It doesn't have really any charm to it. It kind of looks like this prefabricated sort of thing. And the roof itself, that design could potentially be used where you've got one part here that's just kind of the overhang for the walkway and another part kind of hanging over that. But I think the way they really wanted to see was the structure with another structure. How can I demonstrate that? I'll use paper here. So the roof like this with the other roof kind of on top of it, giving it that extra fanciness. that was shown off during the workshop show on Wednesday. And actually, it was only the workshop show on Wednesday. Landmark Live didn't even happen. They did a 90-minute workshop, and they gave us a lot of great feedback. So, a few other things. Now, this little platform here, whatever it's going to be, if it's a walkway or if it's where two bridges connect, whatever it is, it doesn't really have the right kind of Kerran charm to it. I would expect, after what we've seen, having wood planks of different lengths coming off of here, and actual planks that have been divided, where there's the macro voxel kind of shape that actually has two boards separated from each other with a small gap in between, rather than this is just the entire material kind of flush in an area where it doesn't have any separation. It looks a little too built up and too finely made for the Kerran style. Not that they don't do fine work, but they don't really care about the length of the boards like this. It'd just be a matter of, cutting something to whatever size and throwing it down. So they wouldn't take the time to make them all the right shape and size to fit perfectly like that. And once again, they wouldn't have this trim going around if you've got more of that natural look going on and you've got different lengths of planks going off the edge. It doesn't mean the trim couldn't be used, but I just don't know that something that looks like this really even matches. Now, this central spar going through the middle, this giant thick log, is definitely a no-no. They've talked about the number 4 being a big significant factor, and this ain't that. This big central spire, I have not seen a giant support column in the middle on any of the builds that I can remember, and I don't think it would look right if somebody did try to execute it that way. It just doesn't appear to hold the same kind of structure and openness. It seals off the middle rather than allowing a very nice open view of all directions no matter where you're standing. And likewise, the interiors also going down into it would probably start getting kind of weird having this in the way, because everything would have to be built around it. And a lot of what we've seen for some of the interior work doesn't really have that going on. It's definitely more open. It's got some amount of functionality and some amount of just open space to it. But I don't really know. We haven't really seen too much work with the interiors quite yet. The exterior has mostly been the focus. I didn't use thatched roof. I was thinking about doing that just to be silly. Don't use thatched roof. Wrong Kerrans. If you're doing it, definitely explain that it's a cultural thing and that you're like a more nomadic pick up and go type of Kerran and not the usual Kerran that sits down for a little while somewhere. Hello, Untool. Oh yeah, that square hole, I didn't even finish resolving that part there, and that just kind of coming to a point like that, it looks kind of ugly. I know. You covered the aluminum, the deflectors on the side won't work though. Interesting. Alright, so oh yeah, and that's the final thing to talk about. They said to make Kerran structures tall. So, realistically, what's it actually look like to be one claim height up? This is how far from the top of the hill. This is probably about where the heights of the buildings would probably be. Obviously not at eye level, because we don't want Kerrans eyeballing each other all day long. That doesn't turn into good relations, apparently. So that's my Kerran Crapshack, trying to just kind of show some of the not so functional elements of it that we've kind of seen from the previous Castles and Crapshacks, as well as the workshop shows and the concept art, this wouldn't cut it. This would not go in a Kerran city. Not even if it was made real pretty in the shape and style that it is. So, that's that. And I'm not even going to take a picture of it, because screw it. Alright. Gallery. Bad Viking. Let's check this loveliness out. Looks great. Let's take a little closer look here. So, who's working on a Kerran build while they're watching the show here? Gotcha. Alright. I like a lot of what I'm seeing here, and I'm about to start talking about it in a moment. I'm going to turn the UI off here. We're going to get a little bit of height. We're going to do a little flyover. Whoops. That grappler. Nice, Seaberry. Welcome to the Trailblazers. You're getting all the awesome features at only a third of the price. Yeah, I really like the look of it as you go down. Very nice look and feel to the pagodas. Good use of those crescent shapes there. Alright, so let's kind of look at it from the bottom up, I suppose. So, I can see the base is still being worked on, so what the? Ooh, that's no good. Let me, see, did that fix it? That doesn't look good. Does that do that for you too, Bad Viking? Just wondering. I'm gonna stay away from the base for now. The biggest thing I was gonna say about the base is I could see brick maybe being used up to this line, but up from there it kind of seems like plaster would be more dominant. Like Rosie and Jeff had said, the brickwork isn't really something Kerrans mess with, so having these large, or these small, well-shaped bricks being used in large areas across the building, I'm not sure 100% how Kerran that is, unless of course this is a tribe or a family or whatever that's got a lot more of an emphasis on stonework and masonry, in which case I'll just be quiet about it. It's built that way till you get around to detailing it. Nice. Okay. So I really like the way you've done the walkways here, using the metal band here, or whatever. What material did you use, I wonder? I think it's a metal. Using the metal bands going across to give it that unifying kind of look and making it look reinforced. Having the spars underneath that are further supporting them That's really cool. I wonder if these could actually be connected somehow, filling them with regular voxels to make it look like the banded copper going across is one big interconnected piece rather than kind of bridging the still having the gaps between them there. Or the other thing would be having a kind of low to the ground, flat, kind of wide microvoxel piece that's going across. That's not necessarily an inlay or paint, but slightly raised from the surface as a piece of metal. One side. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I like that. That definitely it looks quite correct. I like some of the different shapes and some of the different ends that come off with some of these planks here. That's really cool. Now, there's one thing, and take it or leave it, and definitely folks in chat here, please do give your feedback one way or another on what I'm about to say here. I really like the way that this has this kind of zigzag going through, but I'm wondering if it would look more correct and have that asymmetry that they're looking for if one of them kind of overlaps the other, so you kind of have this one voxel step kind of going on. And I'm wondering if that would give more of that asymmetry and more of that quirky charm, and if that would actually accentuate things. And B, I'm wondering if that would mess with the spars, because then you would have to have maybe some offset from some other ones. Excuse me. Or I see that you only have the spars going the one way, so maybe these would have a different sort of support going underneath them. Yeah, just a thought. Feel free to agree or disagree with me on it. Okay. So now let's look at the windows here. Love the lattice. I like that it's kind of hanging down a little bit there freely. But I'm wondering if it should be maybe a little bit more connected. I see it's just connected by those 2 points there. Those little parts that are poking through. And that looks pretty cool. Seaberry 350, are you running a 64-bit machine? If so, I would say if you're having a hard time running it, you might want to turn the graphics down a little bit. So I like these lanterns here. Whoops. I like these lanterns here. I'm wondering if they should actually be on the ends of some of the spars, or if they should be, if the corners where they're at is more the correct place for them. So there's some other things. I mean, the way that the lattice looks from the inside, especially as you rotate, and you see it's kind of more open here and here, because I'm standing in the middle, or if I'm standing towards here, you almost don't even see the lattice here, and then it comes into view as you walk through. I really like that. I actually like the way that the lattice works in this space here. We have that wave pattern going along here with the detailed wood. I don't know if the lattice is separated enough from the heavy wood here, or if it needs a little bit more of a gradual transition, like they were saying on the workshop show, because it looks like you've gone from these giant logs to this lattice that's, kind of light and dainty, but there's not really anything transitioning out like a medium thickness of wood that's kind of bridging the two, or I'm wondering if a spar maybe a little bit thicker than this going through the columns would maybe do, or maybe using not a lighter material. That wouldn't make sense. I don't know. What do you folks think? Thicker than the ones you had there last week? I don't know. They're really cool though. I think they're great. The what I was saying about the connection error, that's just relative to the advice that they gave on the last workshop show. I don't think it necessarily looks wrong. Maybe just having a little piece of metal or something there to make it look like there's something connecting the wood to the other wood. It doesn't suck. It absolutely does not suck. It's just a matter of keeping things very specific to the Kerran style. I really like that lattice work up there. That's great. Are you going to have light sources above it? I feel like that would make some really nice looking... really? Side candles? Okay. That's kind of interesting. I'd imagine it'd make this waxy pool all over down here, and I don't know how much Kerrans want to have to deal with that sort of stuff. I doubt Kerrans like having wax in their fur. Just taking a guess. I really like how you've got the overlapping spars instead of intersecting. That's definitely to the style, and while I understand there's maybe a little bit of artifacting with the connections there, that stuff can be worked out. I know you'll definitely get around to it when you're working on that sort of stuff. So how's it Kerran to get up further? Is there going to be some sort of a staircase or something, or are they just expected to jump? Or is this going to have a bridge to another building that's then going to have another bridge leading back? I'm just wondering, because I'm not really sure how or why you would want to cut the space in here with the staircase. But likewise, I'm not really sure where a staircase or a ladder or something would really fit out here. I know there's nothing leading from the ground up, but there's also a lot of places where it's, there's a lot of bridges to and from with Kerran structures. So I guess maybe that would be it, is you'd have some separate structure it would attach to. Waiting on rotatable templates before you put your catwalks, hanging bridges, and scaffolding. Gotcha. Good point. Good deal. I'm really excited for that this week too. That should be pretty amazing. I really like how these corners look on the outside. That actually looks pretty awesome. Really nice use. Is that the horizontally banded copper in there? Looks good. It's definitely a really good blend of the materials. They don't get boring in the space where they're being used. Definitely keeps it nice and lively. And of course you've got the wooden boards underneath. I suppose these could even be done as the microed planks, but I don't know if that's a necessary detail. The solid wood kind of look like that might work a little bit better. I like the wood tiles in here. That definitely feels very Kerran. And I note the tiles look like normally, but they're great for it. They look pretty much dead on for it. So this looks similar to the inside ceiling of the lower floor. I really like it. I see that while there's kind of some walkways to get in, if you or climb in, I should say, it doesn't really seem like the sort of place where somebody's going into it too frequently. It's more, it appears just to be a light source and kind of an open space. Not even for someone to go in and meditate in or whatever, but I guess maybe go up to the higher area and look down into it. Oops. Just a little spot there. Again, the lanterns, they look great. They look great in the corners there, but I'm wondering if the asymmetry of throwing them on the spars and having them hanging off at different lengths would be good. Yeah, Lethwomp. It's a game, and soon it's going to be more than just a building game. Right now, we have the ability to collect materials and build things with them, craft our equipment and some consumables and stuff. And while that's all fine and good, a lot of people have really been waiting on combat and being able to create your own interactions and NPCs, and all that stuff here is going to be coming pretty soon. This much plaster this high up, I'm not 100% sure about it. Seems like this is the most plaster that you would be able to see at this height in a Kerran structure. Usually I would feel like they would kind of want to start lowering the amount of plaster they're using after that first kind of transitory floor of plastered wood. But using it in small reserved amounts definitely doesn't look wrong. It definitely helps it feel nicely structured and give some separation from the wood without just using another type of wood, which would be appropriate. Using the striped wood here, for example. Gigalix, yeah. MMO, RPG, builder, sandbox, soon to be PvP, soon to be create your own dungeons and instances. It's going to be awesome. Helps give it identity. Gotcha, Bad Viking. Okay. Very, very little plaster is possible up top. Yeah. Again, candles where the wax can drip down on Kerrans and other people does not seem Kerran. It seems like some sort of weird Dark Elf's S&M thing or something. I don't know. But definitely I would say the candles up here and those kind of hanging wall candles we saw earlier, maybe reconsider those. But overall, the use of the shapes, the use of these curves here with the pagodas, that's all awesome. That it looks great, especially as you go up. Yeah. I better get a good screenshot before the sun goes down. You know, Cody, I'm not 100% sure. I was thinking of doing live feature during the 30-hour marathon, but I'm actually not sure how intelligent I'm going to be for a talk show at that point in time. Oh, I need to get the location here. Okay. Oh wait, it's positive 1288. Oh, I'm sure it will be, Cody. It'll be fine. Yeah, Lethwomp. We're working on the stuff for EverQuest Next right now. The workshop system and landmark is how we're doing that, but there's going to be a lot more than that, I'm sure, that we're going to be contributing to EverQuest Next through landmark and through participation during the development of EverQuest Next and landmark. Yep, it was on Steam. It's on Steam sale for the next 44 hours or something. 66% off. I wish I had waited. I would just upgrade to the Trailblazer from the cheaper package, but I went with the Trailblazer, and I don't regret it. It's fine. So, looking at some of your experimentation here, just because we're here. Square lattice is good. That's the lattice you were kind of using for the roof there. Looks great. Looks like this is some lattice work in progress. This looks really nice. It's kind of... It's got some really nice ornateness to it. I wish there was some way that these could be made a little bit more in the shape of that four-pointed star, but I think we might be getting kind of close to the voxel fidelity limits there. I don't know. For good MMOs, well, what other kind of MMOs do you play? If you're into just PvP only and you like shooters, PlanetSide 2 is kind of an interesting one, and Unturned is pretty fun. If you like survival games, H1Z1's coming pretty soon. Yes, these columns here. I like these columns. They're very similar to the columns we saw last week, and I really like that shape to them. Take it easy, Lethwomp. Cool stuff. I really like the experimentation work you've got going on here. Pretty awesome build. Still don't know why it's getting all wonky there, but whatever. So, let's see. I wonder if we can actually do another teleport right now or not. Who else is working on claim that they want to show off? Cody, what's up with yours right now? What's good? I definitely want to visit and see how it's improved since the feedback last time. Anzul, I will definitely check yours out next. The caves. Thanks for the follows, by the way, everybody. I really appreciate that. Is it showing up on the screen properly? Is it just making a really loud, weird sound? Which is actually the pause sound from some of the earlier games that I had made. I really like the use of your space here. Ooh, I like that angled cut. Alright, so back to here. This is what we saw last week. Other than being told not to thatch, there was a lot of great stuff going on with it. I really liked it. And I guess are you just gonna kind of leave it the way it is here, Cody? Or are you gonna adjust it some more and do some more with it? I don't remember this last time. That's nice. That's almost a little, like, modern. Ooh. That's neat. It's fancy. Haven't decided. Fair enough. Oh, you made this yesterday? Yeah, I like it. It looks like a modern house you would see in the real world, or at least the makings of one. This is pretty neat here. So let's look at it. I'll even go from further back here. Ooh, I like that little boat shape. Oh, it's a boat. I thought this was a boat-shaped planter. I was thinking, oh man, that's such a great idea. Just have a planter that's shaped like a boat. That's totally like their theme and style. Well, that's not what you did. Now, anybody who wants to, you have the idea. A boat-shaped planter. Yeah, I agree. The shingles definitely need some more work, or they need to give us a different variation so we can hit the different angles properly and make it look right. Good plan. Thanks. So this is definitely not being accessed from the ground floor. I'm guessing there'd be a ladder, some bridge from somewhere else getting you up. But I like the base. Very sturdy. Mostly plaster and plastery kind of materials. Is the plaster and stucco, I guess. This walkway looks great. Let me look at it from below a little bit more. So there's a couple wooden beams going across. Supporting it, keeping it up there. Some of those spars holding it up there. They're just kind of big ol' supports, really. They're not going through anything. That's really cool. Even more rickety than what we were just seeing over at Bad Vikings place, and I like that. It looks like it should squeak and creak, and every time you step on, or every now and then you'll step on one, and the screws or whatever the however it was put in place is loose and just kind of kicks up out of place there. I like the wood going through the bottom here. That's cool. I don't know if you intended that or not, but if so, bravo. It looks really, really neat, and it's a good way to cut the material here. But I'm wondering, are you planning to keep the stone material, or are you going to mess around with something else? Because it looks nice. It looks like an inlay, but I'm not sure if they would do the entire floor with that, or just maybe one stripe of it, or just some part of it. Stairs take up too much room. Yeah, bridge ladder. Yeah. I like the windows there. Definitely uses the not only good use of curves, but getting the star shape here a bit. It feels a little on the thick and heavy side, maybe, for a Kerran structure. Unless there's supposed to be a walkway here to be able to kind of see it. I don't know, it just... I guess you haven't finished doing all the walls on all the sides yet, but it feels a little too enclosed right now. But definitely it's a work in progress, so I know that's being worked on. Oops. Yeah, needs more light, yeah. Maybe full of books. Yeah, that would help. Some reason why it wouldn't be fully opened with windows all the way around, because I'm sure Karens don't like having their books all wet. I like the roof tiles everywhere. I'm not, well, roof tiles where there's going to be the contact with the sun and water and all of that stuff, but underneath and along this wall, definitely feel like it needs to be cut with something else. And that's kind of funny that there's the separation here. I'm guessing that was to give a little bit of a asymmetry from one spar to the next, or something else. I don't know. I like it though, and I like the way that you've done the caps on the spars here with the banded or the riveted silver, it looks like. Not that the banded copper or whatever we were seeing over on Bad Vikings claim looked wrong, but I think the silver helps kind of jump out a little bit. You just threw it up there. Oh, gotcha. Alright, now that looks like the thing you've really been putting a lot of work in, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll take a nice little look at it for a moment here, and while we're doing that, I am gonna roll the next giveaway here. So, same rules as always, and the same giveaway list as I've had: the 7-day beta key, lunar anklet, iron pork cutlet, gem seeker's brooch. I've only got 5 left, and I suppose I can put next month's item on the list too. So I don't even know what it is, but if you think it's more awesome, or you already have this set of items, then you can shoot for the stars and be one of the first to have it. Be one of the cool kids. Okie dokie. And while that giveaway is going, I'm just gonna kinda do a little fly around. Actually, maybe I'll take this opportunity to take a screenshot here. Kinda want the sun to come through. Or some amount of light. Or maybe it'd actually look cooler showing it off like this. Oh, I see. You've got little strings with the lights on them. That's cool. That's definitely with the style that we've seen. That really looks nice, actually. Yeah, I'll wait until the contest is over before I really start getting into the feedback. I guess the random number thing picked a good one this time. To Lisa, congrats. Yep, take your pick. Gem Seeker, you got it. Cool deal. Alright, and we'll do another one when we start the 2-hour break. Nice. So, looks great. You can see the bits of asymmetry, the different lengths of the spars from various different angles. So that communicates really well. As we go down, they said not to do this kind of A-frame base, but at the same time, this structure looks like something that's going to go into the water. So I could definitely see this being, just the part that's up above ground, or otherwise as a walkway, and maybe other smaller things like some little tents or something would go underneath as a, I don't know, like a little shop bazaar sort of thing for travelers and passerbys. I kind of disagree with the no A-frames thing. It feels like it's correct with the Kerran style that there would be something like this set up, and then there would be small temporary things going on, or maybe a garden going on below here. Good use of the different woods here. You use the striped wood, it looks like, for the thicker posts. Down here looks like the burled wood, and then burled wood for the spars. So using the different woods different ways looks pretty good there. Looks like a bridge that might have struts. Yeah. I like that, yeah. That kind of toothy pattern. It's almost got that wave kind of look to it. Yeah, that wave pattern there looks great. Going all the way across, cutting the two different types of tile. That's really awesome. That's really smart. Around there looks great. Looks actually great now that it's getting kind of dark in game relative to how dark the game gets. Yeah, I like the colors of the stars on there. Very nice. Considering making it wider, that wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea. For Kerrans, it's a good width. They could maybe even have, two Kerrans walking side by side. Maybe that'd probably be the width I'd be looking for. Is just wide enough that they'd be able to have two Kerran comfortably walking side by side along here. I see what you mean, Julissa. It kind of makes it feel a little top heavy having those big thick logs through the top. I was kind of thinking about that a little bit. I think I like them more the way they look on this side with the banded metal and the lights going across, but you might be right that they might be a little bit too thick here. Love the hued bird perch, smart cats, yeah. Yeah, I could see maybe if there was more being built up, if this wasn't the highest floor, but there was another floor being built on top of it, and it was a bit wider, I could see those being there. But yeah, those being the thickest ones being the highest ones, I can see what you mean there. Which textures are you talking about in particular? Is that Aderborg? Is that how it's pronounced? Because it looks right to me. I like the way you've done the planks along here, giving a little bit of that separation. I wonder though if that helps it or not, because then you just still have the roof tiles right underneath it. Oh, the texture of these heavy logs. Yeah, those could be because there's the more orangey kind of wood here. I could see using the striped wood for the wood spars going through the top. Yeah, good point. Good point. Why would you have planks on top? I would imagine the planks on top and not having the roof tile there, if the point of the roof is, or the point of this walkway is to be one where the elements can kind of get through, that even rain itself can kind of trickle through a little bit. Best one you could find, otherwise it was switch directions on the circle or run on. Yeah, I gotcha. Run on. Yeah, I could see those for cat running. They would want to go to the tops of their building sense. Alright. Cool. Alright, now the moon's all nice and big in the sky. Everybody's favorite time. It's screenshot time. Is there anything else anybody wanted to look at this build and give a little bit of feedback on or check out? Made a new bridge? Oh yeah, there's probably... Is there any... Other than the new bridge, is that it for the build here? Because I definitely want to make sure to check everything and give everyone a chance to give some feedback on everything. I don't want to... I'm not trying to run away or anything, not even sure. I guess it'd be Unzul's next, but not in any rush. We got plenty of time. Okay. Okay. It's good, but it could be better. Let me try that shot again. One more time. There we go. I like that one. Bridge, the path, adding voxel rocks around the river and plants. Cool. I noticed those trees. I want to know when it's published. Alright. So this looks like the makings of a garden or something here. I see what you mean about the rocks being placed around the river here. That's pretty cool. It looks nice, very natural, with some maybe some extra placement of rocks and stuff, or maybe not. You know, rocks will naturally kind of form along the roads or the sides of a riverbed as they get pulled down from wherever they were before and swept down the river over a period of time. It's actually a pretty neat process. This bridge here is really nice. It feels like while I like this amount of stone, it feels like this amount of stone would only be available for the Kerran structures being done in the Combine and any common areas where they're building with other races. Otherwise, I feel like they would probably be using wood for this area here. Yes, I like that bucket of water. Am I alone in my thoughts on that? That this amount of brick and kind of worked stone seems a little bit more like it'd be a collaborative thing and not a Kerran only sort of thing, or would Kerrans maybe mess around with this sort of thing? Wonder if Kerrans would farm. That's a good point, Com. On one hand, I don't know. They seem like they would try to get what they can from nature. On the other hand, if it's something that they really have to disrupt something in nature in order to access it as a plant, they might be more willing to have a garden of that plant than going out and having to disrupt the natural processes in nature just to collect this thing that they want or need for whatever purpose. Herbs to season their meat, I could see that. I mean, one of the reasons for growing things is to not necessarily change them from what they are, but to select for the features that you really like. If there's a specific type of fruit that you can use the seeds from it to grow something very similar, and it's the best tasting version of that fruit you've ever had. I could see them doing that to, cultivate something that's of higher quality. Are these stacked stairs? Are they? I like the way the stairs are done there, though, and this wood walkway going around the place is pretty great. I really like how you've done the wood planks here with the little grooves cut in between them. That's pretty awesome. Oh, the stone ones? Yeah. That's that stone. Different texture on the top and side. Gotcha. Original farm is actually just planting as part of the city decor. That's true, Com. Oh, PvP map? Nice. That should be pretty interesting. Cool. Was there anything else for us to see here? Did we get a chance to see everything? Seed drills would be easy with claws. Yeah. Oh, the entrance stair. Oh yeah, these ones here. Yeah, I like the way these are kind of done. It looks like it's meant for smaller feet like humans as well as larger feet like Kerrans, and that's kind of why it looks like this. It makes me think they'd kind of more go up this side rather than humans having to kind of go up here and then shift over a little bit. Good stuff. Cactus mad, thank you. Damn it, now I want Cactus Cooler. And whenever I want Cactus Cooler, it just makes me want Cactus Cooler and Tapache, which I haven't brewed that in a little bit. Yeah, awesome stuff here. So, let's see if we can go to the next one. Anzul, are you still around? Understanding Dune. I don't know which one to go to. I'm guessing it's the Kerran one, even though the screenshot's a little out of date. So does anybody have any idea what next month's item is? Oh yeah, I need to keep doing the thumbs up. I keep forgetting about that. It's such a silly system because I can thumbs up all the awesome stuff, but then it just goes away the next week. If I want to thumbs up something, I want to say thumbs up. Or get some sort of feedback when the build changes significantly so I can come back and thumbs up it again after seeing it. But that's just me. Ooh. Hey. I like it. The grappler isn't sticking to some branches. Oh well. You know, if I'm gonna do a fly around, I might as well just do it from here. Great use of the height here. Yeah, I need to take a screenshot from approximately there. Inbox message. I'll check that a little bit later. Actually... I might check that a little bit later. Cool. I'll get the screenshot now while the moon's in a really nice place. A little higher up. All right. Whoops, that's not where slash location goes. Yeah. Oops. So, this has a lot of awesome stuff going on with it. So much awesomeness. First of all, this is the height. This is how tall it should be. This is what a Kerran structure should look like height-wise. Big. Very tall. Now, kind of looking at it, coming in from the front door here, there's a little bit of bricks kind of knocked out and missing here and there. That's pretty cool. Looks like the building's maybe been here for a little bit. Some of the crafting work has started to show through a little bit. Caledorian, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. Nice doorway here, like using the part of the four-pointed star here, using that double crescent shape coming to the point. It's also mimicking part of that wave pattern, so that works pretty well. Then, let's see, are these actually... So this isn't actually at an angle, but it could be. It could actually slightly taper one way or the other, and that could be pretty interesting. Not that this isn't right the way it is, it looks great. Just thinking about ways that maybe it could look a little bit different. Once again, not saying that it isn't awesome the way it is. I like that. I really like that doorway there from the outside. From the inside, it definitely looks like it's I don't know, maybe it still needs a little bit more work or something, or not really sure what's going on with these, if these are supposed to be weird parts in the branches or something that were being used to connect them. The side parts kind of look thin compared to the top, maybe a little bit. I guess that's why I would want to have it maybe a little tapered or a little thicker in some parts. Could be. Then when you get in here, it's just the interior kind of slop. It isn't really filled in yet, and that's fine. So let me look at the base again around the outside here. So there's some of the natural rocks and stuff, making it look less like it was just cut out of the terrain and more like it was placed there intentionally. I like that. Good use of the rocks there. So you folks saw on the Crapshack demonstration I made that, you know, using a bunch of small rocks and piling them on top of each other didn't necessarily work, at least in the context that I did. But using the large rocks and kind of building on top of them, it looks great. So, let's see as we go a little further up here. Just a little extra adornment like that is great. Doesn't have to necessarily mean anything, but it definitely gives kind of that quirky asymmetry. Same here, we've got the spar going through on this side, and this side we've got the little window. Great use of asymmetry here. makes it look really interesting. I like that roof, the kind of two-tiered sort of thing going on. Here it is. I'm not sure if these are supposed to be like banners or Kerran loincloths or what's going on there. It looks neat, but I'm not sure what the intent is. So this is one of the things that we saw in the first piece of concept art, was just this thing. It's connected by a bridge to the building on the left side in that image, but what it is and what the purpose is doesn't really get translated. Well, it kind of looks like some sails. It kind of looks like maybe some sort of a mill, or that it can rotate or something. But it just as much looks like a hangout area, just as we were kind of thinking with the one that we saw in the concept art, that it's just a place to hang out. You know, do cat things. Or not do much of anything and just be hang out, or as a lookout post perhaps. Power, yeah. I don't know. Kerrans don't seem like the type to use electricity. No, you don't pull water from the ground. You actually collect snow and ice and just melt that down. You get a good conversion rate though, so it's not that tough to collect it. So here I actually kind of want to go inside, but having a little wonkiness. There we go. So what we actually have inside here, this little fountainy thing, that's actually really neat. I guess that goes the entire way through the structure. That's cool. Yeah, they don't really seem like they would use electricity. Kerran bed that they have to kind of jump or crawl or whatever to get up to. I kind of like the idea of that. It's kind of interesting. Or maybe if it's not a bed, it's just a hangout spot, or is that just a rug? I'm not sure what it is. It looks like it's supposed to be a bed. This is a really interesting shape here. Huh. It's got kind of that wave pattern going on here, the use of the curves, but it looks like some sort of magic peanut. Cats love laser pointers, yeah. I like the use of the metal bands on either side of where the wood kind of connects here, though they'd said to use less pieces of wood that are actually kind of like, you know, grooved and stuck together, and more to have them kind of intersecting above and below each other a little bit, that they wouldn't necessarily cut the notches in the wood to make the pieces fit together. But once again, Kerran cultural differences. Some cultures might do it, some might not, so it's, you know, completely a tribal sort of thing. I like the water puddle kind of pouring down from the garden here. That's pretty neat. You know, not every bookcase has to move, right? There's ones that don't I'm wondering, maybe behind these there should be a some sort of special inlay or something. Or I could even have the gardening tools behind them. Little hangout spot. I really like the idea of having a garden all the way up here. It's a lot of weight, you know, dirt and water and roots and all of that stuff. It's a lot of weight to have this high up. But it looks like there's enough plaster and everything to support it. Catnip storage, yeah. That's really neat. I like how it looks like these... It almost looks like these pieces of wood are holding this piece of wood rather than this piece of wood being kind of shoved through those pieces of wood. Excuse me. So, really nice use of the wood. I feel like the one thing that this is missing is lattice work. We get a little bit there, but I feel like that's the one thing it probably needs more of. Really like that shape right there. I like the double upside down wave patterns with the stars in them. That's really nice. The lantern looks like a custom made lantern coming off the spar. White lumicite with a white lumicite orb in it. Not enough light for a garden. Yeah, you're probably right. I guess maybe that would be another reason to get some lattice work going, and that would be the place to put it, is a bit more either in the upper area of the roof or more towards the sides where some of this stuff is, to let some more light through. It's pretty interesting though. I do like the idea of trying to put a garden up here. There's even a couple pillows up here for anyone that just wants to go hang out up on the roof, which is also why I'm guessing these wooden beams are here to help reinforce the roof. It's very nice. Yeah, a little bit of lattice to help cut the space in here I think would make it a little bit more open and even a little bit more bright. Or maybe the roof itself needs to be a little bit further up from the where the plants are at, so where the light's coming from is maybe like here to here, like from the top of the window to the bottom of here is where we've got more of the light and the lattice coming through, and then the entire roof stuff is just kind of pushed up a little bit. It's definitely a lovely roof. Quite interesting, quite awesome, and in the Kerran style of letting the elements through. Dang it. There we go. I'd love to have that flying ability here, but cannot fly on other people's. Can't even fly on my own claim, but it's all good. So, good stuff. Let's look at what's going on here a little bit more. Oh, hey, I see it. They're actually using different types of wood for the spars in some of the different areas. I think that's pretty cool. That's another way to cut the symmetry, is different types of wood. I really like how they use the different wood and give it, basically it creates good transitions and provides different type of material for the area. This area right here is just a great study in the use of the different woods and materials to create variation in an area. Pretty awesome. So who else has a place that they want to show off here? Who else is working on the Kerran structures in the workshop? Because I've got plenty more time here to check awesome stuff out. Caledorian, after the second 4-hour set, it kind of was put on hold. I'm definitely going to put it back down and finish it up at some point, but I'm working on Kerran stuff right now, so that's kind of taking priority with my landmark building time. But I'm also working on redoing my schedule and some of that stuff, so I've been kind of working on some of the more behind the scenes stuff recently. Phasicus, I want to see what your stuff is up to these days. And this will probably be the last one we do before we hit the 2-hour break. So Phasicus started on this 2 days ago, apparently. That's pretty awesome. We're going to take a little tour here and see what it's looking like. Single wide supports going all the way across. It's definitely sturdy enough because it's being supported by these thick spars going across. And the ground here is not leveled out, but instead has the spar stuck into it. It's a little bit leveled out and evened up here, but using the healing tool can always be used to restore the natural contours of the world in that area. Yeah. Definitely early work in progress, for sure. I wonder if using a little bit of some of the different, not the different wood textures, but some of the different angles, like you would use a diagonal one every 3 or 4, or as you get further along, more of them are using the diagonal or the one that's 90 degrees to this one, to have different rotation and variation in the wood. Because I really like the way it looks, but I'm noticing as I walk across it here, you see that it still is just the same material connecting across. It's just got little breaks here and there for where you've made these gaps, and they look great. But yeah, Julissa, exactly. It seems a little bit too regular. I think the burled wood doesn't quite do that because it has that weird kind of bubbly, circly kind of weirdness to it. Looks more like clay in some ways, while this definitively looks like wood. Ederborg, like he said, he just Started this one 2 days ago. Fazicus has got some awesome stuff though. What he was working on before was amazing. Just blocking it out. Yeah, you did. For 2 days work, this is really nice. Should be called Juniper. No, Jupiter. It's like Juniper. That's not what Juniper looks like. No, Jupiter wood for all the weird swirls. Yeah, exactly, Faz. Are you gonna do metal bands going down the sides of these, or are you gonna do anything else kind of going along the top, or are you just gonna let the boards be what they are and have them connect with the stuff below? Central tower, 3 smaller towers. Caledorian, I will definitely visit yours next. Same name in game, right? Nice windows. I like the star above it. That how this point lines up with that point. That curve matches with that kind of empty space, or negative space there rather. That's really nice. Great stuff. I like the use of the wave pattern, or kind of not necessarily the entire wave pattern, but kind of getting those little grooves in there, getting kind of similar to the wave pattern. That's really nice. Using the different wood material here is great. Definitely helps cut the material, separates the roof. Yeah, it gives it even a different weight. Those spars going through. Of course, Rosie would say about the symmetry, something that you could do to break the symmetry if you want to have them the same length is you could have them set at different widths and different intervals. And of course that would be reflected on the inside here too. And I guess that's not reflected on the roof because they're not going up through it. Though if you wanted, you could actually have those other supports actually going through the roof. Completely optional. Borath, that's right. Shouldn't be on there, just not deleted. Yep. This is for lining stuff up. Okay, I getcha. No, it looks like a work in progress. Crapshacks don't look like a work in progress. They look like they're done and they're complete as a crapshack. This ain't that. It's definitely a work in progress. You know that. You know the rules. I mean, most Crapshacks aren't even 2 characters tall, so there are very rare few that were. I can see there's going to be an awesome roof here. Now, I am going to take a step back though and take a look at it, and the one thing, the one thing that I don't know, and maybe it's just because of where it's located, but I really don't feel like they would have a structure this low in essentially a Not a valley, kind of like a, not a delta either. But you know what I'm getting at. You've got, high hills on the sides here. You're kind of in this valley between these two high hills. You've got this pathway going through. You're basically... Is it just water this way too, right? No? No. So you've got the water out that way. You've got kind of this openness here, which I'm guessing might still get filled with water at some point. It seems like the structure would need to be taller. A lot taller. A lot taller. To be able to see anybody who's coming up on the mountains before they can see you, or at least when they're on the mountaintops, you can see them at eye level. That seems like it'd be... It seems like it'd be not... I can't think of a better word than like tight or claustrophobic for Kerran to have this tiny little thing when there's this giant mountain up here that someone's looking straight down at you from. Canyon, this, yes, Kesmai, thank you. That's what I was thinking. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, not very defensible. It's just, maybe it's just where it's positioned relative to everything else, or maybe, we've been told to have them really tall in general anyway, but it doesn't feel like, for where it's placed, it's nearly as tall as it would need to be for a Kerran to feel remotely comfortable with it. Other cultures, maybe this would be their thing, but yeah. Feel free to disagree with me, of course, or tell me to go screw, because that's what this Kerran tribe is all about. But it seems like the top of that mountain is more where they would build. And actually, if you were building on the top of that mountain, this height of the structure actually would be ideal, because you're already at the highest point. You don't need to build that much higher from there. You're already at the very top. Cool. I really like it. I liked what you were working on before, and I like what you're working on now. You've been doing great stuff here. Definitely keep it up. I'm really excited to see. We'll probably come back next week and tour it again and see what's going on with it. Would you like me to take a screenshot in its current state, or should I leave it for another time? That's up to you. Wood inset in the second level of the base. I see what you're saying. No, don't take one. You got it. You got it. Here, if I just stand here like this, nobody'll know that it's not a complete build. Alright, so I'm going to start the next giveaway, and I'm going to step away to do a little stretch break and all that fun stuff I need to do to be ready for the next half of the show. So, same rules as always, same giveaway items as always. We are down to 4 Gem Seeker's Brooch. We've got plenty of lunar anklets, 7-day keys, iron pork cutlets. I don't have any feather in a bottle, and I'm willing to put you on the list for next month's item if that's something that you really want. I don't know what it is, and if you know what it is, that's awesome. Please do share. But we'll be starting that giveaway right meow as soon as Nightbot throws down the rules for y'all so that I'm not out of compliance with Twitch.